is Jake Gudger, creator of the Goal Achiever Online program and founder of Embark Seminars, where we give you the knowledge and the tools, the know-how, and the techniques you need to get more out of life. So like I said in that first intro video, all personal growth programs, all personal development starts with the premise that to think is to create, or any good personal development program. So we become what we think about, and everything in our lives is the result of thought. And that can be nice to understand in terms of philosophy, and you get it pretty quickly. And as we learn this, we're always keeping in mind that what we're going after is a life that's new, or more fulfillment, more happiness, a different, maybe just a completely new shift. You're sick of the old game, the old 9 to 5, and you want to work on your own terms, live on your own terms, or just for something better. But what we found is people get lost in this part in the middle because there's a lot of cloudiness. It's not clear how do you do that. This is the first step, but what's in the middle? So what we're going to share with you today are 3 techniques that are really going to help you get the next step, the next process. There isn't just one step in here. There's a little more to it than that. So we're going to show you 3 things that are really simple but very powerful. We're going to build on one another. So we'll just start with the first one for now.
So the first step we're going to go into right now is understanding the mind. So yes, we become what we think about, but how's that process actually work? So here on the top, this top arrow, you see we have what was on the last page. To think is to create. That's the first step in creating the new, better, different results in your life. Now, that's something that you know. So you know that your mind, your thinking, creates and molds your world and your experience and ultimately your results, right? But it's what you do, it's your behavior that's going to produce the actual results you want. Now, this is probably one of the biggest gaps in our lives. I'd go as far as to say as it is the biggest gap in our life between what we know and what we actually do. So a great example of the gap between what we know and what we do, between belief and behavior, is weight loss, fitness. If you're overweight and you're seeking to lose that, to get back to your ideal weight, you know how to do it, right? It's pretty simple. I mean, I'm no fitness expert or a nutrition expert, but it's pretty much eat better and exercise better, right? Now you know that. You know it's simple, you know it's easy in principle, in thinking. Now doing it is another matter entirely. So what you'll notice with the beginning of both of these arrows, this arrow and this arrow, is that starting on the left side, understanding that to think is to create, and knowing what you need to do to produce the result you want physically, both of those things are occurring on the intellectual level. By intellectual, we mean you get it. It clicks, it makes sense to you. Maybe it's that aha moment, and you go, oh, I get it, I know what I need to do to get where I want to go. And the right side of both these arrows, we're talking about here is results, and we're talking here about behavior, what you do to create that result. That's happening on the physical level. So there's a difference between what you think about and what you actually do, between your belief and your behavior. And getting this concept of the thing is to create, again, it's the first part in a series of steps to ultimately produce the better results. So you're probably wondering, okay, what's behind this yellow one? What's in the middle? It's pretty simple. It's your emotions. E, it's your emotions. So you've probably heard this kind of process before. I've heard it as you choose your thoughts cause your feelings cause your actions, what you do, and your actions produce the results, right? That's personal development 101. Thoughts cause feelings, feelings cause actions, actions cause results, right? Now, that's good, but I'd heard that before, probably thousands of times before I really got it in a way that it allowed me to actually produce the results I wanted. Get the new, the more, what's different and better in my life. So what happened to me is I saw people, I observed people who I knew and who I read about, who started at about, a few $1,000s a year, and they were just kind of getting by, and things were all right for them. And then within like a few months or a year or so, They went from a few thousand to a few million a year. And I wondered, okay, how does that happen? How does something like that occur? And from talking to them and reading about them, I found that they really couldn't explain it very well. They said it was something about what was going on the inside, and that made a lot of sense to me. Sure, it makes a lot of sense to you. Starts with your mindset, starts with your thinking, right? Starts with feeling good about yourself and what you bring to the table. And that then allows you to produce better results. Now, I'd heard that before. I'd gotten it. But there was a major disconnect for one big reason. And that reason is that you and I think in pictures. We think in pictures. And when we're talking about the mind, very often it's kind of this lofty philosophy, and we don't really know exactly what they're talking about, the stuff about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. What the hell is that? And then how that in turn affects your body and your physiology. And it can seem really almost mystical and convoluted, and it feels like it takes a degree of just kind of blind faith. And I knew that's not how it happened. It wasn't just blind faith that created it. It was something tangible, something that really worked. And the disconnect was I didn't have an image of the mind. See, you and I, we think in pictures. If I were to ask you about your car, you'd be able to explain it to me. The make, the model, the year, the color, whether it's clean or dirty. And as you do this, I would see it. You know, your car wouldn't roll up in front of me. It could be thousands of miles away, and you're explaining what it looks like to me, and I'd see a picture of it in my mind. Same thing if I were to ask about your home, whether it's an apartment or a house. You could explain to me when you walk in, what's the interior look like? Is there hardwood floors? Is there carpeting? Is there artwork? And I could get a pretty good idea of what your home looks like. Now, I'm not there, but I'm seeing it on the inside with my thinking. You may be wondering, okay, what's the point? What's the catch? Well, what does your mind look like? What does your mind look like? Now, most people, when they're asked this, they say, well, the brain. They think of the brain. Well, brain's the body. The brain's physical. The mind is non-physical. I got a friend of mine, the guy's had 2 strokes and been paralyzed. His brain looks like someone took oatmeal and threw it against the wall. The guy's absolutely remarkable. His name's Ben Sutter. And he said the brain is not the mind. My mind looks like oatmeal. There's all kinds of holes in it. The mind is non-physical. So we're talking about the mind, and we're talking about personal development. We need a picture of the mind. Now, there was a doctor going back to about 1934 named Dr. Thurman Fleet, and he was a pioneer in the healing arts, and he realized this exact same problem. See, he became absolutely appalled at the work of himself and his peers because he realized they were treating symptoms. By treating the body, just the physical body, they were just treating the effects. And if they were going to treat the cause, they had to treat the mind. But no one had ever seen the mind. Now, what I'm about to show you is what finally got it all to fit for me. The piece of information, the concept I'm about to show you is what finally, all the books, all the research, all the seminars I'd gone to about personal development and about creating better results in your life in terms of your health, your finances, your relationships, your business, everything. Again, it's going to seem simple, but it is powerful. Here it is.
So in 1934, Dr. Thurman Fleet was very involved in the healing arts, holistic health. And he said mind is an activity, not a thing. See, he knew that by treating the body, we were just treating the effects, not the cause of the mind. He said no one has ever seen the mind. However, we must have an image or there's no order in the mind. I will create an image and eliminate confusion. So what he came up with was this little graphic. We call it the stick person. So let that top circle represent your mind. Think of it as the screen of your mind. Let that represent your mind, your thinking, that activity. And that instrument below, the little circle with those lines coming off of it, let that represent the body. Now we make the mind so large because up until now, we've given pretty much all of our conscious thought and awareness to our physical body and our physical results. Now there's 2 parts to your mind. There's your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And that part below is the body. Now it's your body that does the doing. It's your body that moves into action that produces your results. And we make that top circle so big because up until now, we've given pretty much all of our conscious thought and attention to our physical body and our physical results. See, as a human people, we know so much more about the physical world than we do the non-physical world. We understand so much about our physical body. And we're now beginning to finally really learn and understand how the mind works, how the mind functions. So our conscious mind is our thinking mind. It's the educated mind. So this is what school was so interested in cramming information into. But it's also the intellect. So this is where your thinking goes on. And your subconscious mind is your emotional mind. That's where your feelings are. It's where all your memories are. Now, it operates very different from the conscious mind because the conscious mind can choose thoughts. You choose your thoughts. You've heard that life is nothing but a series of decisions, a series of choices. Your choices occur, your thinking occurs in your conscious mind. See, any idea that comes your way, you have the ability to accept it or reject it. If I were to tell you the moon was not made of cheese, it was actually made of bacon, you'd say, what are you talking about? That's crazy. You'd reject it. Now, if I were to come on the evening news with a snazzy suit and all kinds of cool lights and graphics behind me and tell you that this is the worst economy we have seen in decades. Absolute chaos, terrible. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. Now, you could choose to accept or reject that. You could ask yourself, does this person know what they're talking about? Is this idea going to help me get where I want to go? See, because your conscious mind also has the ability to originate new ideas, create new pictures with your imagination of how you want things to be. And then you can turn those ideas into your life. Now, the subconscious mind functions very differently. But what we want to understand is that the thoughts we choose to accept again and again and again, the thoughts we choose to accept are impressed upon our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind must accept everything that's turned over to it. It cannot reject. Now, this next point continues to fascinate and amaze me. The subconscious does not know the difference between that which is real or imagined. What I mean by that is something you've created in your mind and used your imagination, or something you're just seeing with your physical eyes. Something that's here and now, a current result, a current circumstance. It doesn't know the difference. And whatever's fixed in the subconscious moves the body into action and causes the results. Does that make sense? So you choose your thoughts cause your feelings are then expressed in action. Remember, the way you feel about something determines what you do in regards to that thing you have the feeling about. And it's your actions that produce the results. So the greatest error, the biggest mistake people make in personal development, in trying to change their lives in a big, positive, beautiful way, is they make the decision in their conscious mind, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to make it happen. And they start trying to do things on the outside to produce that result. And they're completely unaware of how their subconscious functions. Because whatever is fixed in the subconscious mind is expressed in action. And you will never defeat your subconscious. You can guide it. You can influence it. You can alter what's programmed in there. And that's what we show you how to do. In these training videos, in all of our programs, in all of my speeches, especially with my clients, that's what I show them how to do, is change the conditioning in the subconscious. Take a look at this.